you doing? It's been a while since I've done an intro like that. I've had to start filming as early as possible because we're going to have quite a hot day today, so this shed is going to turn into a sweat box. I've got a fan, but it's really noisy. Anyway, so today I am going to be testing out shrink plastic. If you're watching from the US, you probably know it as Shrinky Dinks. I did try to get those, but I couldn't find them, so I got these ones instead. Now, I've never actually used shrink plastic before. I've watched a few YouTube videos about it, but I kind of wanted to get some practice in first, just to find out which materials work best, how it manages in my oven. So yeah, I've been practicing using this all week, and of course I filmed all of that, so I shall show you what I've been up to first. So I opened up the shrink plastic packaging, and inside there were some very brief instructions. It looks like a lot, but it's in loads of different languages. It came with some earring hooks, key rings, hoop things, and bead chain things. There seems to be one shiny side and one textured side. It doesn't actually tell you on the instructions anywhere, but you're supposed to draw on the textured side and also cook it textured side up. The sheets are about A5 sized. I just cut them in half to A6. I felt inspired to draw ice creams since the local ice cream band's music actually featured in my last video. We've also had lots of glorious sunshine lately in the UK. First up, I tested the poscas. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I was calling them pascas all the way through my last video, even though that's clearly an O. I was a little limited on colours as I only have the pastel set, but it seemed to come out okay. Next up, I tested the Sharpie paint pens, also from last week. These have much thicker lines. Maybe the black was a bit heavy, but again, they came out okay. Then I tried some Crayola felt tip pens, and I found that they were just way too watery. They seemed to bleed across the plastic. They were really see-through. Then I tried some alcohol markers. They did a fair bit better than the Crayolas. I have to say that this is actually the first time I've really enjoyed using these. Maybe I have just been using the wrong paper, because they seem to be doing okay on this shrink plastic. Then I tried the crayons, and they actually did really great. I was a bit worried that they might not be soft enough, but the rough texture of the plastic seemed to help them deposit a bit more pigment than they do on paper. I also had some soft pastels from previous videos, and they seemed to do okay actually, but they were very messy to use and kind of tricky to hold with any kind of precision. I reckon they'd probably be best for like a pastel blend or something. So that was all 6 ready to go, so I popped them into our Stone Age gas oven. I'm not sure that a gas oven is really ideal for this, but I couldn't really justify buying a whole new oven just to make some key rings, so it'll have to do. They actually only needed 2 minutes and they shrank really fast. I probably should have put something on them to flatten them sooner, but I was also trying to film it. So I headed back to the shed and popped some Mod Podge on the back of them just to seal in the pigment, which seemed to be fine on most of them, but the Crayola one just instantly started to run and turned into like a brown poopy mess. The chalk one seemed to kind of resist the Mod Podge and kind of fizz. I don't know, it was a bit weird. But eventually the Mod Podge won and it was okay. Once they had dried, I decided to just ditch the Crayola one, and I tried putting some primer on the back of the alcohol marker one to see if it would help brighten it up a bit. And then I put some glaze on the back of all of them. I also wanted to make some floral earrings, as I don't actually own any. It's late April now and there are loads of forget-me-nots everywhere. I just love these flowers. So I made one set of these using the poscas. I probably shouldn't have just freehanded it. They are a little wonky, but I think I actually prefer the handmade look. Plus I do have one ear higher than the other, so if one flower is slightly bigger than the other, then I can actually work with that. Then I made a cherry blossom set using the crayons. I think these worked well because the cherry blossom is actually a very delicate flower, and you can kind of do a bit more blending and shading, and it just kind of looks a bit softer, where the poscas are a bit more kind of pop artish. My kids also made some of their own key rings to shrink. Lily is obsessed with Sonic. And James said that his is actually of me making a video. So I popped them all in the oven together, and I did manage to get a better shot of them this time. It looks like the back right-hand side of the oven is actually the hottest and seems to do a better job of flattening them, which does make sense because that's always where the pizzas burn. So next time I might cook less of them just in that spot. Again, I sealed them with Mod Podge and Skull Pit. The flowers seemed especially jumpy for some reason. I think because they were just kind of fiddly. I attached some earring hooks, but these are actually some sterling silver ones that I bought separately because my ear holes have expensive taste. I wasn't sure which side I preferred of the cherry blossoms. Both sides looked good, but I decided to just put them the way that they're supposed to be. And I actually really love how these came out. I will definitely wear these and maybe even make some for friends and family because they didn't really take that long, but I think that they would make a really nice personal original gift. I also turned the kids ones into key rings and just my favourite ice cream ones. So yes, that is what I've been up to, and I'm actually wearing the cherry blossom earrings today. So today I want to create 3 shrinky characters that are going to be a mix of fruit and animals. Now that's of course not a particularly original idea. So my twist on that is that they are all going to be British fruits and animals. And that's because that's what I actually used to draw a lot. Also, I had a bit of a flashback of the 90s. Who remembers the show, The Animals of Farthing Wood? I'm not sure why that sprang to mind. If you haven't seen it, it was made for kids and had like cute forest animals in it, but the storyline was basically Game of Thrones. Cartoons were brutal in the 90s. There's loads of clips on YouTube if you don't know what I'm talking about. I used to get so excited when I used to hear the music come on the TV, but we did only have like 4 channels. It has always been colour television as long as I can remember. But yeah, I remember the launch of Channel 5 with the Spice Girls. Anyway, tangent. So I basically want to make characters that are inspired by that, but a more cheerful version. So I have got a selection of fruits and animals written on paper in this jar. One's pink and one's yellow, but I can't remember which is which. I've slept since. So I just need to pick one of each and then we will have a combination. So let's pick our first duo. Can't see what's written on them. I'm just picking one pink and one yellow. Ta-da! Let's see what we've got. So the animal is fox and the fruit is apple. Fox apple. The next duo, one pink, one yellow. The animal is weasel and the fruit, plum. Weasel plum. See, when you normally get fruit animal combinations, I can guarantee you've never seen a weasel plum. Okay, and our third and final combo, deer, raspberry. So first off, I'm going to design my characters on the tablet because then I can turn it into a colouring page for you guys, if it's any good. I shall put it on the community post bit. I've got some Marmite on toast. The question is, do you love it or do you hate it? I love it. Or do you not even know what Marmite is? So I have got an overhead camera for this, but it does look a little bit flickery, so I don't know how people get around it. So what I shall do is I will film a time lapse of it as well, just in case it is way too flickery. Oh, I'm getting hot. The tea went the wrong way. This is actually very challenging. You take for granted all of those animal fruits that you see. So I'll just kind of draw out some rough ideas first. So I have finished my designs for the fruitamals. I have literally just mixed the words fruit and animals there. It probably is already a thing. I'm not even gonna look. For example, I was trying to come up with a new idea for, I've just realised I messed up the cushions because I finished the drawing over there on the sofa and I've not put the stuff back. Hang on. There we go, that's better. Where was I? We had a long drive and Elle was driving the other day. So I thought I shall use this time to come up with a new idea for a children's storybook. And I came up with an idea that I really loved. It was about a little kitten who walked on his tiptoes, and I planned out pretty much the whole story in my head. I even came up with the name Timmy Tiptoes, and then I did a Google search of it, and that was a story written by Beatrix Potter, like over 100 years ago. So literally it is so frustrating. Most likely if you thought of it, someone else has too. So I shall draw out my probably not original characters. I think that my favourite material in all of the test ones was actually the pencil crayons. So I think I'm going to draw these in those. So I have finished with my shrink plastic designs. I think my hand died somewhere mid-fox because you have to press down really hard with crayons. I also had the issue of that I didn't have a white crayon. I only had a slightly greenish white and a kind of really light pink. So I had to kind of blend those two together to kind of cancel each other out and kind of make a white colour. So I don't know if that will turn out okay. I had a bit of an issue on the weasel because the black line slightly smudged onto its chin, and then I was trying to erase it. Then the pencil wouldn't deposit back on it, so I kind of tried scratching it with a pair of scissors to make the surface rough again, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. We shall see. I'm going to go and pop these in the oven now, and I'm not going to film it because I don't want to mess these up. Wish me luck.
A few moments later.
That was seriously nerve-wracking. There were moments where they were like almost folding over on themselves and I was like, ugh. But do you want to see? They all worked. The only thing is, obviously my designs have flipped now and they do look a little bit wonky the other way around. I probably should have checked that when I was designing them. I think that's the only one that looks okay both ways. These guys are both leaning, but I'm happy with them. So I'm going to Mod Podge them to protect the crayon on the back, get them onto some key rings, then we can have a chat about everything. Okay, so these are all finished. I have got the fan on low. I don't know if my mic will pick it up, but it's absolutely boiling in here now. But the one advantage of that is that it did actually dry the Mod Podge and the Skull Pot really quickly. I'm really pleased with how these came out. I think the weasel did come out a little bit dark. Perhaps should have used a slightly lighter brown, and I should have checked what they look like both ways around while I was drawing the designs. I did use some watercolour pencils and some just regular Crayola pencils as well, because the pastel set didn't have brown, which is generally, it's quite an important colour really, but yeah, all of those pencils worked fine. The area where I'd got a smudge on his chin turned out okay, so you can actually erase the crayon and then just scrape with something sharp to make the surface rough again in that area. I don't know how it compares to different brands. I perhaps should have got a few different brands, but this one seems to do okay. I was a bit worried that they weren't going to flatten out for a minute, but they did. I just gave them like an extra 30 seconds until they did flatten out. As for the materials, the crayons worked really well. If you had a set of alcohol markers, that one turned out okay as well. The poscas look good if you want a more pop arty look, because they're very bold. But I could probably just do with a bigger selection of colours because they are quite expensive. Where I'd say crayons are a bit more easily accessible to everyone. But yeah, it's been good fun using it. I would definitely recommend it. Obviously, if you are a younger person watching this, get an adult to help you with it. I did nearly burn myself. Yeah, I think I just got a bit overexcited trying to make sure that they were flattened out. But yeah, I definitely recommend this kit. I shall link it down below. And also, I got myself a new cutting mat, which I've already destroyed with Skull Pot. But hopefully that will keep my desk nice. And before I go, I'm going to pick out another fruit and animal. So if you want to create your own character, you can. Badger and cherry. I think that they would work quite well together actually. You can send a picture of it to my email address and it might feature in the next video. Don't forget about the colouring page as well. Whew. It's not even that hot yet. It's like 26 degrees today. In the UK last year we got up to like 40 odd degrees. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just film all of my videos at night. So that's it for today. I shall see you next week. Bye! Oh, there's a fan there.